should know because I went to prison for a few years for violating it.
Scott Cavell was the CEO of Enhanced Athlete until he was convicted for selling a toxic fat burner. But the company's legal supplement business is still active. The shots at this party are one of its special blends.
You know, a lot of people out there will sell this stuff or similar things and say, oh, it's not for human consumption. You know, I sold a fat burner as a fertilizer, saying it was a fertilizer. And they're saying that since I did that, it made a misdemeanor a felony. And they sent me to prison for 3 years for that.
While Scott served his sentence, his business partner left the country to experiment with all types of body enhancement drugs, free from U.S. regulations.
Friends of freedom, I am Dr. Tony Huge, and we are here to crush ignorance and pioneer human evolution.
Oh, good. You'll never find in mainstream medicine the solutions to become superhuman. You'll only find the solutions to go from diseased and mediocre to being average and normal at best.
Unafraid to pop pills or shoot needles, Tony Huge openly touts his use of unapproved drugs.
I'm about excellence in every aspect of human biology and chemistry. How far can we push the limits?
She will be uncontrollably horny.
Huge is also a lawyer and a self-identified polygamist who has been deplatformed from YouTube for promoting questionable medical advice.
Okay, you're not a doctor, are you?
I have a doctorate degree of jurisprudence.
It's a Juris Doctorate.
I hear you're in Thailand, right?
Yeah, I'm over here in Thailand. I found my paradise of where I found the most freedom and ability to do what I do.
So Tony, exactly what are these medicines that you speak of, that you deal with?
I am mostly known for bodybuilding chemistry, for the chemistry that builds muscle really fast, that burns fat really fast. They're not scheduled, but they're also not FDA approved. So they end up in this middle area. It is legal to possess. It is legal for other people to inject themselves, but it is illegal to actually sell it to someone like you would a supplement.
Tony's crusade to pioneer human evolution is the apex of doing your own research. His medical and chemistry knowledge is self-taught, yet people volunteer to be his lab rats.
So Ken is one of my many research guinea pigs. He already looks like a perfect specimen of a muscular man, but we can always improve. We injected them 3 times a day, 4 times a day. We force-fed them. We put them in the gym. Like real test subjects.
The experiments that you do on people, that you're putting people at risk. You know, what say you about that?
And I experiment on myself first. And I'm in great health, and it's worked out fantastic for me.
Tony is now testing a chemical called Sarms to build muscle and burn fat. Studies show they can be less dangerous than steroids, but that's a low bar since Sarms can cause liver damage and blindness.
I like injecting these things. They make me feel superhuman. And I'm gonna be the first person in the world to try this brand new product. Oh yeah. And of course I need a napkin, so.
Tony's informal network of bro scientists are pushing the body limit so far you have to wonder how long this ride can last.
Right now, I work for Dr. Tony Huge. I had a traumatic brain injury, so I came up with thousands of protocols for myself, and I became a scientist, a research developer, and that's how it happened. I started fixing myself. We'll do some research development for these SARMs, You could change your inner self with Sarms completely. With everything, all the protocols, because it elevates you to another level.
I mean, Tony, have you even had any experiments that went wrong?
Yeah, so I have had experiments that went really bad. I almost did die, but I also know how to counteract the side effects of this. So I was able to save my own life.
This risky behavior
Do I take any supplements as a 15-year-old bodybuilder? Yes, let me show you what to take.
becomes even more combustible when you add easily influenced teenagers to the mix.
A lot of people would hate me for saying this, but I think adolescent years is a great time to really push athletics to its limit and even use things to enhance.
Yes, I'm the 17-year-old bodybuilder who's done 8 SARM cycles.
Here's my day in the life as a 17-year-old bodybuilder who takes SARMs. First, I like to start with a heavy ass bench press. As you can see, your boy's jacked as with those 25-inch arms at 17. And I eat this whole thing, drink 4 cups of coffee, and take my SARMs at the end of the night. Tasty.
So Tony, if you know, why take the risk with the law?
I stand for medical freedom. And the only way that the world's ever going to adopt these is if people like me take the risk to create that movement.
Tony, yesterday I met Scott, and he had just come home from prison.
So Scott was the CEO of the company before, and he was making money from the company. Myself, I'm traveling around the world. I'm educating and I'm experimenting. None of that stuff that I was doing was illegal per se. If you look at what really kills people, it's muscle weakness. Just the weakness of the body as you get old. Just old age and weakness itself is the #1 cause of aging and death. The longer I can delay that, the better.
We've got a lot of new exciting products coming out. Come on, let's take a look at the new inventory.
Do you know who Dr. Tony Huge is? He's not a doctor. He's a psychopathic attorney selling steroids and SARMs to kids. We just don't know what those are.
Dr. O'Connor is a former steroid user. Now he treats bodybuilders who are so damaged by the drugs that they can't produce their own hormones anymore.
So in my opinion, SARMs are not safe and may actually be worse than steroids. These are what bro scientists, and they're hurting people because they're selling garbage.
I would say to the anabolic doc that if you could spend just one day with me, I will blow your mind at what is possible with chemistry and the human body. He would lose his medical license if he actually got into the stuff that I do. That's one of the reasons I'm able to do what I do is because I don't have a medical license, I have a legal license. I'm a lawyer, not a doctor, which allows me to do a lot more in the field of medicine without risking my license.
I am willing to die for my goals. Evolution. Evolution is something amazing.